Interesting. I mean, look at the head. That's pretty. I mean, though there. I'm trying not to say anything where people can clip it and then they, use it, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really hard. Man. I'm trying here, and it's not everything
I mean, there's so many double entendres with snakes.
is true. It's very
If I
true.
if I had $1 for every time someone made a joke about a snake and like they said it in a way that was suggestive, I'd be rich.
And just like that, another day, another episode.
Fly.
216, 217. I lost count when we hit triple digits. So 200 and something days of everyday filming. And here we are today, joined
Wow.
by Claudius. So go ahead and let the world know
Snake
who
father.
Snake Father. Ooh, here we go. Go ahead and let the world know who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Claudius. I am the snake father. So I actually am a snake wrangler. I provide a service for snake rentals for photo shoots, music videos, birthday parties, and educational seminars.
Nice. So you don't just have the snakes and give them out for photo. You actually know a lot about your snakes.
That's correct. That's correct. I actually went to college and got my undergraduate degree in biology and environmental science.
Wow.
I also did some undergraduate research with animals as well. So mostly fish when I was in undergrad, but I've definitely worked with animals literally my entire life.
There's no secret that we really like animals on the show. Like we've had a lot of people come over and talk about animals, but never a specific kind of animal. Mainly ones that a lot of people have fear of and it's very useful to our lives, but a lot of people don't know.
Right.
Snakes, right? Snakes are very important, especially in medical sciences, right? Because their
Mhm.
venoms actually help create some of the first like heart
Yeah, I
medicine,
mean the
right?
venoms are definitely used for different types of like what's it called? I don't know why I'm thinking
Anticoagulants.
virus, but you know what I'm trying to think. Yeah, yes, anticoagulants is used in medicine for people to be able to functionally operate.
Like normal decent human
Hey,
beings.
well, neither
Yeah.
one of us is in the medical field, so
I'm actually in the medical field, which makes it
oh, you
worse to
are
me.
okay,
Yeah, dude,
okay.
I'm a medical, like this makes it worse for me because I forgot everything. Fuck shit, damn. Uh, but no, snakes are important. They're really cool. Like they have been a part of human history since beginning of time, right?
It's the beginning of
Like,
time, yeah.
like you had them in the Bible, you had them in like the Quran, different religion, different like
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy to see like how much, although they tend to bite and shit, but now we've domesticated them to the point where they no longer do it anymore, which is
Well,
crazy.
not only that though, but most people still think that all snakes are venomous,
Mhm.
even though a very small
Percentage.
portion, like
What
a
is it
very
like
small
one
percentage
percent?
of species are venomous. Most of them are constrictors.
Wait, so okay, here, let's. This is a good point. What are constrictors and what are venomous, right? So what's the difference between their method
So,
of attack?
so the difference would be if you come across a venomous snake, that's one that's going to have fangs, and its method of defense or attack would be to strike and inject venom into their prey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to strike the prey, bite the prey, and wait until the venom takes its effect and kills it. But a constrictor is going to strike and coil and squeeze the life out of the prey.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh,
And the vast majority of snakes are constrictors. They're going to strike, squeeze, and then eat their prey.
interesting. Okay, here. I heard that when snakes eat their prey, they puke it out in the next, like, I don't know, day or two.
No, no,
Is
no,
that
no, no,
not
no.
true?
That's another another
Snake.
myth.
Okay.
So there are a couple of species that will regurgitate fur balls, but that's also very few species. The vast majority of species are going to like fully digest their prey, and they will, excrete it out the same way any other animal would.
So they'll
Because I
shit the
mean,
prey out.
they have an anus, and they will poop it out.
I don't know why
I
always get surprised whenever someone says a snake has an anus. I'm just like, wait, what? Oh yeah, they do.
They do.
They have to.
So it's and that area is actually called a cloaca.
A cloaca. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but where is it? Is it like literally at the end of the tail, or?
It's not at the tip of the tail. It's most of the way down the body, but it's before the tail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how do you differentiate, by the way, between like the body then the tail? Because to me it looks like just one.
It just looks like one long thing.
Yeah, long.
If you look on the belly of a snake, you can see the difference in how the scales look. Okay. And then like the scale pattern will change down towards the cloaca, and then it will get smaller at the tail.
I see. Right. Well, you kind of gave me an answer to this question, but I think it's something the world should know. What got your interest in snakes?
Honestly, they drew my interest because they seem to be a misunderstood species. I've been kind of a misunderstood person myself, so I've been able to kind of connect with them.
Fair.
And I'm drawn to things that are strange. I'm drawn to things that kind of are creepy, crawly, slithery, scaly. Like it's just my passion and my interest.
And you felt okay, not bad. So you kind of relate with snakes being misunderstood and decided to take them on. And ever since then, what were the steps? Like, how did you get into the snake world, let's say? So you like them, you decided, you know what, I want to work with snakes. How'd you get into that?
Okay. Well, transitioning from being a hobbyist and turning this into a career, I'm still in the midst of that currently. So originally I was keeping reptiles as pets, and it was a hobby. I started breeding them. So when I started working in entertainment, then I just spread the word that I had exotic pets. I had reptiles. So at one point there was a producer who mentioned that they were looking for a snake for a music video, and I offered mine.
Are you allowed to disclose which music video?
Yes. So that was Tyga's Floss in the Bank.
You worked with Tyga?
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with Tyga. I've worked with Amber Rose. I've worked with T-Pain. I've worked with Chris Brown. I've worked with Paris Hilton. Who else have I worked with? I worked with a lot of big name artists and like celebrities.
By supplying them a snake. So here's a cool question. I really want to know. Did shit ever hit the fan with the snakes and the celebrities? Like, was there ever an instance where a snake did what it's not supposed to? And
no, that actually has not happened. Thankfully, knock on wood.
Because that would have been. I mean, it's a cool story to tell, but like, thank God it didn't happen because that's your career on the line. Like, yeesh.
So, when it comes to bringing snakes on set, usually we're able to work around the snake's natural behavior. So we're not trying to force the snake to do something that it's not going to normally do. And as long as the snake feels comfortable and the person feels comfortable, then we are able to get the shot. Okay. But when someone's trying to say, okay, well, can we put the snake in this position? Can we move it over here? Can we put it where it's going to be too cold, too hot, whatever? That's when things start to go wrong. And you don't want the snake to be agitated. You don't want the person who's interacting with the snake to not act in a natural way because it's going to show up on camera. We don't need someone that looks like they're scared of the snake and they're trying to look cool.
And they're trying to look like they're fucking, rapping and shit.
Yeah, they're trying to look badass, but they look scared.
It's really not gonna work. No, but that's fair. Okay. So you have a lot of snakes. You got more than one species and more than.
Yes. So I currently have 41 snakes that go across 6 different species. I've got all constrictors. So I have reticulated pythons, ball pythons. I've got 3 different species of boas, and then I also have colubrids. So that would be like king snakes, milk snakes, corn snakes, things like that.
I see. So you got them all the way from like a bunch of meters all the way down to like the baby ones.
Yes. So
I
so my snakes, I'm actually not good with metric units. So I'm trying to think. I have
We'll stick with
if
inches and foot. Not bad.
okay.
I'm good with those.
So my smallest snake is probably about 14 inches.
14 here. Let me just for the European viewers that we have.
That would be
Let's
what
convert. So 14 inches to centimeters. How about that? So 35 centimeters. So roughly
Perfect.
ruler and 5 centimeters.
Yes.
Right.
And then my largest snake is 16 feet.
Okay, that's like okay. So
That's what 5 meters.
16 to meters. That's like 4.8. So
Yeah, so
five,
almost 5 meters.
five,
Yeah.
5 meters. Damn, I'm like 2 meters tall, and that's like one
Yeah,
more.
it's going to be 3 of you.
That's like one more of me and a half. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty. That's big, man. Where do you keep them? How do you take care of them?
So all of my snakes are actually in my living room.
Wait, what? I thought you were gonna say some cage in the backyard or something. You just leave them out?
They are enclosed. They do have enclosures, but all of the enclosures are in the living room. So they are on a rack system. So almost like a bookcase, if you wanted to envision it. So it's like bookcases of cages that are stacked to the ceiling.
Wait, if they're stacked to the ceiling, how the fuck do you bring them down?
I have a step stool. So I get on the step stool and I go into each enclosure so I can get the snakes out.
Remind me to never come over to your house. Just saying.
Well, all the enclosures have locks, so you're fine. It's okay. You're not going to have anything wandering freely.
All right, be honest with me. Did that ever happen?
Only if I forget to put the lock on the cage. And there have definitely been a couple times where I got home from a music video and it was very, very late. I put the snake in the cage and I just went to sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and the snake is out.
It wasn't on you or anywhere near you, was it?
No. Like the snakes are going to go and look for the warmest, darkest, quietest corner and just coil up. They don't want to try and be out and about because that's how they would be exposed to predators. They want to feel as secure as possible.
So that would be like
behind the refrigerator, behind the stove, in a closet, in the bathroom. Like they want to go somewhere where it's going to be dark, quiet, and warm.
Dark, quiet, and warm. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the biological aspect of snakes. Is it true they have thermal visions?
It's not thermal vision. It's more of like heat sensing pits in their face. So they would have how do I describe it? There's a difference in where their scales are along their lower jaw, and it's literally like little heat pits where they can sense where heat is coming from. So that's something that they would use to find prey. So like say there's a snake in the wild that's looking for a mouse and it's going down the little mouse hole and trying to find out where it is. It's going to use that and it's extremely strong sense of smell to find the mouse.
Interesting. Yeah, let's debunk a bit more myth because I'm very interested. Like when I saw your page, I was like, yeah. I mean, those snakes are pretty cool. I really want to know more about snakes. I'm like, no, I'm not just saying this because for the sake of saying. I genuinely mean it. Like, well, after I've seen your page,
I'm in LA as well. So if you ever want to have like a snake play date, you're more than welcome. I can teach you some things. You can interact with them.
Listen, I'm not deathly afraid of snakes. I'm more deathly afraid of spiders, believe it or not. But okay. I will. By the way, it's not me who's in LA. It's the other Ali. He's the one who's in LA. He's. Gotcha. I'm in Jordan right now. That's where I study.
Gotcha. Wait, the country or the state, Georgia?
Jordan, the country.
Oh, Jordan, the country. I thought you said Georgia.
Like,
I'm sorry.
No, like Michael Jordan without the Michael.
Gotcha.
Or the 23 or the shoes.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are snake breeds here that are also, they're not venomous. They're, as you said, what was the word? Constrictors.
Constrictors, yes.
I went on a hunting trip once. It was up in the mountains and next to a forest area up in Jordan here. And I did have an encounter with a snake. And I was like, okay. Oh man, it was the scariest moment of my life. I was like, okay, Steve Irwin style, I got down on low. I was like,
Like,
shit.
crikey.
Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna do a whole accent with a bunch of Jordanians. Trust me, they'll eat me up. But it's like, it was scary until I got in the car unharmed. Snake didn't even think about me, right? It was just
Yeah,
there, like,
they're not gonna seek you out. They're not
yeah,
gonna, attack you. They literally want to be left alone. They don't want to be, poked and prodded and anything like
yeah.
that. They're solitary creatures. They're really just living their lives in a simple way.
It is, dude.
And
You know how I realized the snake was there? I was walking, and as I was wearing this hoodie too. That's the thing.
yeah,
So one of my friends grabbed the back of my hoodie and pulled me back. I was like, "The fuck
and
is
he's
wrong?"
like, "Wait, snake."
No, he just pulled me back. I pushed his hand. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "Look at what you were about to step on." The snake was
Oh,
out. Like,
wow.
the snake was lying down. It went up and it looked at me. It was like, "You good, bro?" I was just like, "Bro,
He gave you the sup, bro.
I was waiting for that Harry Potter moment when the snake's about to talk to me,
Oh
and I was
man,
like,
start speaking parcel tongue.
yeah, I was. Listen, I was terrified. I was terrified. That was the most scary. Like, that was the scariest shit I've ever gotten myself into.
I'm sure your heart skipped a beat. I'm sure.
A
I
beat or
mean, seeing a
two,
snake
probably a
in the
whole
wild is
Kendrick
gonna
Lamar
make
song worth of beats,
anybody feel
but
hooked.
you know, it was scary. But when I got in the car, I came to a realization, like, the snake just looked at me. It didn't look like it was about to attack. It didn't look like it was gonna do
It was
anything. So
probably was it out and in the sun, or was it like kind of in the shade?
it was no. It was, I think it was a bit shady, but you know that line between the shadow of a tree and the
Oh,
sun?
okay, got you.
Yeah, it was there, coiled,
Okay.
right? And just there. Like, I don't know why there wasn't any mouse or anything around, but
And what time of day was this?
oof, good question. This was around 12 midday, which is usually like the hottest point of the day. So I'd
Yeah, so then
assume
it was out just warming up. It's not, trying to do anything. It's just making sure, because snakes are cold blooded, so they cannot generate their own body heat like we can.
I see.
So uh, they are required to be in an area where it's warmer, so that way their body can function, because
Mhm.
they can't generate their own heat internal.
I see. But what I also realized on that day was, back then, I won't lie, snakes were my biggest fears until when I realized that I faced my biggest fear, right?
Yeah,
Live in the action, not even in a controlled environment, right?
just in nature.
Yeah, in nature. Like, anything could have happened that day. As soon as I sat in the car, I was like, what was I scared for? It didn't look like it was gonna attack me or anything, which
Right.
seemed to be the only method. I'm not trying it with spiders though. Those fuckers don't mess around. They'll actually
Hey,
do shit, right?
arachnophobia is real. Arachnophobia is real.
Arachnophobia is, I don't
I
mess
don't
with
know. I
spiders.
don't know if you looked on my Instagram page. There is a like a boomerang of a tarantula crawling across my face.
That's when I scrolled off and I was like, all right, I'll message him, but I won't keep looking anymore because I can't do
See,
spiders. Dude,
I'm
not
definitely
even
not the
in video
biggest
games.
fan. I'm not the biggest fan of spiders, but I will deal with them.
Yeah.
Like they're not something that I'm afraid of,
Mm.
but they're not something that I necessarily am going to go out of my way to find either.
Very unpredictable. Very unpredictable spiders. I don't like it. I don't like them at
Yeah,
all.
especially
But
because if you see a
snakes,
spider, you don't know how deadly it is unless you know what species it is, and it's like, yeah, I'm good.
yeah, dude. Here's the story of my friend who lived in Australia because he studied there, and he told me, so he was living with his family at the time because he was still underage when he went to college, right? And it's like
Hmm.
miles and miles away from his home of Kuwait. And it's like, he's like, I had two instances with spiders. The first time I saw a spider, it was huge and hairy. I went to grab a broomstick, right? And the woman of the house, like the old lady in the house, was just like, "Stop! What are you doing? Don't kill the spider." She picked up the spider, and she's like, "Oh, good boy," and then she just let it out in the wild, right?
Yeah.
My guy's like, "This bitch is crazy. Like, what? Like, that's a huge ass spider. What do you like? What do you mean?" His second instance was a few weeks down, and he said it was a small spider, long legs, yellow color, and it was hanging. So this time I went and I grabbed the broomstick, right? And just before I was about to hit it, the old lady comes in again. And she's like, "Don't do it. And she yelled at this time. She yelled at him like, "What were you thinking?" Or like,
Yeah.
"Stupid." He was confused. He's like, "What? What's going on?"
But it's a different type of spider.
Yeah. And she explained to him that this is the kind of spider where as soon as you swing, it's going to have enough time to jump on the broom, jump on you, bite you, leave before you finish that swing. Right? And he's like, there's a special way you deal with these kinds.
Yeah.
But
give me one moment.
Take your time.
Where are you going to eat? And that's where we cut.
That's where we cut. Right. Yeah, and we're recording again. Ali cut that last part out.
All right, we are back on. We're back on.
But yeah, no, that spider incident was like, that's why I don't fuck with spiders. Like, believe it or not, whenever I play Spider-Man, like that's just a scary game to me. That's just
makes your skin crawl.
I don't do spiders, but snakes though. So shedding must be a bitch with the 15 or the 16-foot one.
Wait, say that one more time.
Shedding, when the snakes shed.
Oh, the shedding. Yes.
It must be a bitch to deal with. So what do you do with the skin?
No, it's actually not. As long as the humidity is at the right level, the snake is going to shed in one piece. It's going to look like it's like a sock. Like they're going to shed off the skin in one solid piece.
Okay. And how do you just put it in the garbage truck?
Yeah. I mean, there are some people who collect the shedding and they make art out of it.
Interesting.
So there's a guy that I collaborated with recently. He makes custom like PlayStation and Xbox controllers. So he made a controller where he made like a layer of it that was snakeskin on top of the controller.
Not bad.
Yeah. So actually, once we finish the podcast, I can send you the link and show you what it looks like.
I mean, that would be cool. I'd love to see. So do they not become crusty, the shedded skin? Do they not become all like crackly and...
No. So when they shed their skin, they already have another layer of skin underneath. It's not like a spider where when they molt, then they have to like sit there and harden. So a snake is going to shed that layer of skin, and they already have a fully developed, fully formed
skin right under. So what happens is this is their skin, they form another skin, and they just shed.
Yes. So just like how we are constantly shedding dead skin cells, they just shed all of theirs at once.
At once. Interesting. Okay, not bad. That's pretty cool. I see how it is. And the skin stays, does it feel like the snake already, or is it like, how does that shedded skin?
Well, when they shed the skin, it's difficult to describe what it feels like. It doesn't feel like paper, but it's how would I put it? It's not rough, but it's not smooth either.
I see.
So it does have some texture.
I see. That's pretty cool. And is that what they use to also make branded bags? Like when they say,
no. If they're making a bag, then they actually use the skin from the snake, not the shedding, but the actual skin. So just like how if you were to have like a fur product and you have to take the fur from the animal, they would take the skin off of the snake.
And I believe it's a painful process for the snake.
Oh, well, they would end up killing the snake.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see. And obviously that's bad because you're killing an animal to make a bag out of it, right? But it's I don't know. There is no buts actually to this. This is just wrong all in itself, and it sucks. It sucks to see it happen. So let's move out of that dark subject, right?
All right. So let's find something positive. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one of your snakes is your most favorite snake? I know you're gonna say, no, I don't have any favorites, but come on.
I do have a favorite though. I'm not gonna lie about that. I actually do have a favorite.
Which one?
My favorite is one of my reticulated pythons. So he's a golden child. So that's like a genetic morph. So it's a color variation.
Okay.
He is very, very iridescent.
Very iridescent. Ooh, those are big words for me. What does that mean?
So basically, when the sun shines off on his scales, then what you'll see is like a rainbow. So if you type in golden child reticulated python, then you'll be able to see.
Here, let me type that in real quick. So golden child reticulated python. You can see that I'm sharing the screen, right? Oh wow!
Yeah, I can
Is
see.
this
Yeah, you
what it
can see
looks
the
like?
iridescence on it. It's beautiful, right?
That's actually very nice. That's extremely beautiful. I've never seen. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So literally, however, any type of light hits them, whether it's sunlight, incandescent light, or incandescent, excuse me. Any type of light, when it shines on it, it reflects back that rainbow.
And which one of these would you say is the most to like look like yours?
The one that's to the right,
The
the
ones
one that's the larger picture to the
this
right.
one?
No, not that one. The one that was pulled up. Go down the third row.
So
Third
one
row, right hand
right
side.
here. This?
No, one more down.
This?
That one. No, up one. That one there. That one looks like mine.
That's wow. And the head looks completely different to the body.
Yeah. So the head is a lighter color. It's usually going to be like a brown, a bronze, or a yellow.
Brown, bronze, or yellow. This one's bronze, right?
Yes,
I see. So where did you get them? Did you buy them or did you catch them
I
off in the
did. I
wild?
did. So they're native to Southeast Asia. I've
Mhm.
never been there. So what I have are all captive bred snakes. So these are ones that have been produced in captivity for generations.
Interesting. And they've been domesticated that way, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're domesticated because they are still considered wild animals, but they're not as instinctive, I guess would be the way to put it. They're not as instinctive as if they were in the wild taking care of themselves. So my snakes are on a schedule. So literally they know when it's time to eat. They know like if I'm going to take them out and handle them. They know not to strike or run away or anything like that. Like they're socialized and desensitized, I would say.
Interesting. Socialized and desensitized to their
Yes.
instincts.
To an extent, yes.
I see.
So
And
if I were to just grab a wild snake, it's not going to act like mine do that I have in my collection.
it's
The
not the
ones in my
same.
collection are very mellow. They're not what's called head shy or tail shy, meaning that if you were to touch them on the head, they're not going to like jump back and try to get away. So like there's a lot of different things that go into it, and it really is species dependent, and it's based on the individual snake. There are definitely some snakes I have that are less tolerant of being handled than others.
I see. And how do you let them tolerate being handled? Like, what's the
Mm,
process?
the process the process is just continuing to handle them on a regular basis until they know that being handled is not a threat. So most of my snakes I've had since they were, much younger. So I've raised them up and they recognize that a human is not a threat. We're not trying to eat them. We're not trying to kill them. Like they literally will treat me or anyone that I put them on as a very large, warm tree branch. So they'll see us as a sense of heat and protection instead of a threat.
Interesting. Let's talk a little bit about celebrities and snakes, right?
Okay. Okay.
Were you ever asked, or were you ever like, did any of your clients ever ask you to do something you didn't want to do with their snakes?
Yes.
I
Most definitely.
is it okay to disclose some of that stuff?
We can disclose the information, but it's definitely not age appropriate. So I don't know who all listens to your podcast.
Nah, then we can't
So yeah, we can't talk about that.
we can't do it.
But it was something that was more, let's just say it was more adult. And some of the celebrities that I've worked with are in adult entertainment.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So we'll just skip that and
Yeah.
move on to something more appropriate.
I guess not. Yeah, no, hell no. Okay. Other than that, like let's take it a step down then. What's something they asked you then, other than that industry
Um,
there, like in the, let's say, the music industry.
in the music industry, they definitely will say things that aren't, well, it's not like you can have a snake that's trained like a dog. You
Mhm.
can't tell the snake to sit, go over somewhere. Like it's not going to respond to commands.
Mhm.
And I've been on set sometimes. We're like, oh, well, can you make the snake do this? Can you make the snake go up this, this branch? I'm like, well, it's going to go where it wants to go. It's going to, we can try to coax it to do that, but we can't force it to. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, well, I thought your snakes were trained. I thought this. I'm like, no, the snake is going to still be a snake. It's not going to be like a trained dog or any other type of animal that you can give commands and it's going to react.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no such thing as training a snake. The only training you can help with a snake is that it won't kill you on the spot. That's about it, right?
Exactly. You can just make it feel comfortable and know that you aren't a threat.
Perfect. And like I mean, I guess, but it's crazy. It's crazy that you.
Wait, here's a good example. So on the set of Paris Hilton's Best Friend's Ass music video, it was her and Kim Kardashian. She wanted nothing to do with the snakes at all. But Paris wanted to interact with them. She wanted to have them like in this one scene where they were in, it was like a bathroom where they had mirrors on all sides. And she said that she wanted the snake to act a certain way. But I was trying to explain to the producer and the director and like art department and all that, like the snake is going to either sit or move how it wants to. It's not going to do what you tell it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult to get them to understand that in that moment.
And they were just like, but daddy, I want a pet snake. Like it's not gonna happen, right? It's really
yeah. It's not gonna do what you want it to do when you want it to do it. It's going to do what it wants to. And you kind of have to just work around that. You have to make it, you literally just have to work around the snake. So if the snake is going to go a direction, then you move that camera in that direction so that way it works for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can get the shot that you want following the snake's movement.
Interesting. I want to ask, what are your snake's diets?
What are my snake's diets?
Yeah. So what do they?
My smaller snakes are currently eating mice and rats, and my larger snakes are eating rabbits and pigs.
Whole?
Yes. Whole.
That's one interesting grocery list. How do you get them?
Well, just like how you can order food, you can order rodents. So I order my snake food in bulk from a rodent breeder, and it comes frozen.
Wait. Okay, thank God. I thought you gave it to them live. I was like,
no. I feed all of my snakes frozen thawed prey because I don't want to run the risk of them being bitten or injured by. I mean, obviously, if a animal feels its life leaving it, it's going to fight for its life with all of its might. So there's no reason to risk the snake's life by providing it with a food that's going to fight back.
Interesting. All right, fair. That's fair. I thought you cut them up and gave it to him, but you give it to him.
No. I like fillets.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that's how you did it. I was like, but you surprised me with the whole.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I will thaw out the rodents and I'll warm them up, and then I will offer them that prey as it is. As long as it's warm and completely thawed out, they'll eat it because it smells like a rodent. It looks like a rodent, and it's the right temperature, so it works.
It works perfect, and they just eat it up and dump it out, I guess. I mean, it's just. I'm sorry for the stupid question. It's just that I've never.
No, there's no such thing as a stupid question because I mean, this is not something that you really know about. So that's why I'm here.
It's not something I deal with. Like cats and dogs, we deal with them every single day. But like a snake, my guy, like.
Yeah, it's not a common pet. It's not something that you're going to interact with on a daily basis.
So let me ask you this: what's your like goal snake? A snake you've always wanted, but you just didn't get yet.
I always wanted an anaconda, and I got one a year ago.
You did?
Yeah. So I have an anaconda. I'm looking to get another one because I would like to breed them at some point. But I always wanted an anaconda, and I finally got one. It will be a year next week since I've had the anaconda.
It'll be a year since you had the anaconda. And like, how big is the anaconda?
Right now, he's only a baby. He's 4 feet long.
Only a baby, 4 feet long. I'm like 6'3", so that's like, hold on. Let me, because what even?
Yeah, he's a little more than a meter.
Here, let me convert that real quick because that's just so. How many you said? 4? That's a meter and 20 centimeters.
Yeah, yeah. He's a baby. He's a
That's a
baby.
baby, right? And they grow up to what, like 20 feet?
Uh, Not usually. That's very rare that they're going to get that large.
All right, well,
More than likely, he's going to be maybe 3 or 3.5 meters fully grown.
3.5. So we're talking like 10 foot,
Probably 10 to 12.
10 to
His his
12.
his parents are not that big.
I see.
Yeah, so his
Yeah,
his
genetics does
genes,
play a
he
lot.
doesn't genetically he's not going to be a large anaconda. He's not going to
Interesting.
be like the one that you see in the movie.
Oh, bro, do you watch that movie? What was it called? I
Yeah,
think it was called Anaconda.
yeah, Anaconda with Jennifer Lopez
Yeah.
and
I remember, listen, I remember like one scene from that movie is when they were like on the boat going in the
Yep,
river, and it was dark
yep.
at night, and they flashed the light, and it's a snake, like, you know what I mean? And I remember, like, well, what color is yours? Is it green or
Green. He's green.
uh-huh. Just fully green, like
Well,
solid, or
he's green with spots.
black spots, I believe.
They're like a brownish color. It's not solid black.
I see.
So, like, he would be, if I were to describe his color, he's like a dark olive, and then his spots are not a chocolate brown, but they're very dark.
So would it be something like this?
Let's see. Yes, exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Interesting. I mean, look at the head. That's pretty. I mean, bro, there. I'm trying not to say anything where people can clip it and then they, use it, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really hard, man. I'm trying here, and it's not working. Everything
I mean, there's so many double entendres with snakes.
is true. It's very
If I
true.
if I had $1 for every time someone made a joke about a snake and like they said it in a way that was suggestive, I'd be rich.
Damn. Here we go. Let's try not to get clipped. All right. Let's try and finish
Yeah,
this
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
So I've seen once on YouTube a video where snakes eat a whole human. I don't know if you've seen that one. And people said
That
it's
is very
fake,
very rare. You're more likely to be struck by lightning or eaten by a shark.
than getting eaten whole by a snake. But
Yes.
that video that
So
used to, I think YouTube took it down because it was against the policy.
yeah, it was definitely against their community guidelines. But if you look into it, the person that was eaten was very very small.
Mhm.
So one thing with snakes, they need to be able to swallow you, and like most snakes cannot expand their mouths wide enough to get past our shoulders. So if they're trying to ingest us, they can't get past, because our shoulders do not, break down or bend any kind of way to fold. Our shoulders are too broad. But if
Mhm.
with a smaller person, obviously their shoulders are not going to be as broad, so they can swallow them down.
Interesting. What
But
about,
that's,
wait,
like I said, that's very very rare. That's not something that is common. It's something that would happen as a fluke. So let's say there's like a very small child
mhm.
who was with a very 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 large snake that hadn't eaten in who knows how long, and it was just and being an opportunist, because normally a snake is not going to smell you and think, okay, food. It's not going to look at you and say, I want to eat you. But if it's starving, it's going to, see what options it has.
Yeah, it's sort of like us when
It's
we're
going to look
broke and
for it's going to
you've
look
ever,
for easy prey. It's not going to go for this, like an elephant or a cow. It's not going to try and put itself at risk. It's going to find something that it can easily take down, constrict, and eat.
interesting. So it's sort of like when we're broke at the end of the month and we're just like,
Yeah, and you're just like, let me just find some ramen
anything.
noodles. Let me
Yeah, like
find some bread,
I'll eat
peanut butter
anything,
and jelly.
bro. That's crazy. And so what's the largest snake to have ever existed?
Um, I believe that it was one that's called like I believe it's called like the Titanoboa or the Megaconda or something. I forget what it's called, but it's a prehistoric species of snake. I think it was Titanoboa.
Titanoboa. Found it.
Yeah.
God damn, that's yee. That's big.
Massive, right?
Yeah. What is that like?
So I believe that they found a skeleton of one. Like they found the preserved what's it called? Fossils. They found the fossils.
Wow. And it's like it's wow. Like it's extremely large.
Man, yeah, it's long, it's broad, it's just a huge snake.
It's huge.
It's massive.
It is.
I believe that they said it was like as big as a school bus or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Man, and like, look, this is comparing it to an average sized human being, which is
that's scary.
centimeters. Let me quickly see what. So 1 point. Oh shit! Here, let's do this. 1.7, right? Which is a 5 foot human being, and the snake.
Yeah,
is
an average height human.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look at that. Like, but snakes, man, they've been here for a long time.
Yeah, they're definitely prehistoric animals. We are living with dinosaurs.
We are living with
just
dinosaurs.
like with alligators and crocodiles, things of that nature. Like they are very resilient species.
They are, and they're cold-blooded.
Yeah,
pretty cool. Oh wait, here's a good question. I just thought of this. I don't know why I didn't ask you this earlier. What is the color of their blood?
Red. They have red blood, just like us.
I thought it was blue for some reason. I don't know why.
No, it's red.
Oh, okay. Is it like a dark red, or is it just the same as ours?
It literally looks like our blood. It's regular blood.
If you enjoyed this episode and learned a lot, because I learned a lot that I have to digest now. I'm just like, there's a lot of information I never knew about snakes, and here we are. We learned.
Yeah. Well,
about that.
If you have any other questions, you're more than welcome to ask. You can reach me, either through Instagram or through the phone this way, however, And my Instagram is @thesnakefather.
Because he is. Thank you for watching another episode. If you deeply enjoyed this conversation or this podcast, please do leave a like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell button, do all that crazy shit. If you're listening on Spotify, sorry you couldn't see a lot of this shit. Check us out on YouTube. You might be able to. What else is there to say? Dude, is there anything you'd like to shout out or let the world know?
I just want people to realize that snakes are not they get a bad rap. They're not what they seem to be. The stigma that they receive is not well deserved. They're misunderstood creatures, and if you give them the opportunity, time, and you approach them you'll see that they really are very interesting. They're very fascinating creatures. They're not, devilish and what's the term that I'm thinking of?
Evil.
They don't deserve all of the negative attention that they get. They're just another animal that is trying to live its life in the world,
Yep. Very well said by the snake father himself. Claudius, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for the invitation.
So this is how we sign out. Salute to Cover the Camp and peace.
All right.
It shines out. That's what's going to see your virtual screen size. So these hopefully will get like half the size like every 2 years or so. Mm-hmm. So maybe in like 4 or 6 years, they'll look out like your sunglasses, like your eyeglasses up front,
Right.
It's like half the size, and also the battery, the processor, both of those can get smaller and smaller. So I think this is electronics. There's just honestly, there's billions of dollars being spent in R&D in this right now to reduce the electronics. So it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of time and R&D money being spent, and then it's definitely going to happen. Like everyone thinks it's going to replace your phone.
So let's talk a little bit about the one.